I'd like to celebrate Joe Breitnecker, the teacher. Joe was a world-class teacher in the full sense of the word. We had the great good fortune at Tufts that for several years he taught a graduate course on the leadership and management of nonprofit organizations. And it was a perfect fit. Joe regaled the students each semester with Breitnecker's principles of effective, irreverent practice. And he naturally made the class a collective enterprise. He recruited and brought in this extraordinary array of practical visionaries as guest speakers, and a number of them are with us this evening. Their last names include Holer, Hampton, Marble, Azumazaki, Layton, and many others. One of the overarching themes of Joe's class was that excellent management of nonprofit organizations in and of itself is not a terribly important or interesting goal or virtue. But if you're serious about improving the world and striving for sustainability and getting at the root causes of homelessness, then it's absolutely essential that you worry deeply about and build the capabilities to develop and run effective organizations. He paid special attention in that class to helping build students' capacity to navigate the sometimes treacherous chasm between grant seekers and donors. And he hammered away at the importance of building effective boards of directors. We have in our departmental archive a wonderful photograph of Joe teaching that class. And as you would imagine, it's not a photograph of someone standing calmly behind a podium. In fact, it's Breitnecker in full flight. His tie was loosened, his suspenders were flapping, his eyes were rather wide open as they scanned all the corners of the room. And guess what? His mouth was open. But literally, he was leaning so far in one direction that he was about to take off. And if you look carefully at that snapshot, you can discern some of the words on the blackboard that Joe had scribbled behind him. And those words include philanthropoid, truth, and then another one, which I especially like, is a short phrase, generate new resources. The last session of the class, each semester, Joe hosted what he called the annual jargon off. The assignment to all of the students was come in, nominate your best examples, meaning the most egregious examples of jargon that infects the nonprofit sector and the world of philanthropy. And Joe would not only judge the submissions and award prizes, but would contribute his own wonderful examples. And it became such a popular occasion that the rest of us would beg to sit in on that session. What a great way he had developed through the annual jargon off to bang home the importance, the lesson of the essential importance of clear thinking and communicating. And also to share with his students how endlessly fascinating are words, their use, and their abuse. It was a real delight in my bureaucratic role with this department to have the opportunity to regularly review students' evaluations. One of them said, quote, "I have never laughed so hard or learned so much." Another student said, I hope that my career is guided by the same values and the same skills as Joe Breitnecker's and those of his friends that he brought in to meet with us. And I hear regularly from those students who are now out there across the region and across the country applying with great success Breitnecker's rules of visionary, nonprofit, and philanthropic practice. Outside of the classroom, Joe was also a very talented teacher of all of us. But it's strange to say that. If he were listening now, he would totally dismiss, he said, God, what a ridiculous idea. But of course, it's true. He was a wonderful teacher, and that was a key dimension of our connection with him, of his relationship with so many of us, whether we were clients, friends, allies, co-conspirators. The teacher as coach, the teacher as inspirer, as guide, as supportive critic. Good teachers often underestimate their lasting impact. That was dramatically the case with Joe. Although I think over the past year, he began to let in and to hear and feel not only our expressions of affection, but also our gratitude for how deeply he had affected our work individually and collectively. But mostly in the recent past, he was intent on continuing to encourage and organize us. And even in his farewell emails dictated to Max, he was urging us on, saying, keep it up. What you're doing is important. You can do more. So as we go forward with Joe's persistent, encouraging, sometimes teasing voice in our ears, I propose that we honor him by trying to provide for each other some of what he gave us so consistently and in such abundance, to share and to give to each other some of that extraordinary encouragement and support. As he says to us, reach for the stars, heal the world, and you can actually have a lot of fun doing it. And along the way, let's continue to gather candidates for Breitnecker's jargon off and do battle with the fuzzy thinking and the shading of the truth that those words represent. As Joe would say, so there.